Megyn Kelly is a very popular podcaster who used to work at Fox News. She's a former Fox News host. I've had the pleasure of meeting her on several occasions. She said, quote, tweeted, quote, the Black National Anthem does not belong at the Super Bowl. We already have a national anthem, and it includes everyone. That's what she said. And of course, she has her supporters, because there were plenty of people who spoke up on her behalf. And obviously, Kerry Lake was one of them. Bobert was another, along with several others, because they felt that the Black National Anthem was, quote, a manufactured push for segregation.
Thing is, man, whenever you have a song that you sing for one group of people, and let's be honest, man, that is what's happening. You're singing a song for one group of people. That's it. And again, when you have that, that's going to cause division. No matter what you say about it, it's going to cause division. Again, black people don't need a separate national anthem in no way, shape, or form. And you know this, but again, it's all about black people wanting themselves, their group, to be special. It's not about equal rights. And again, you have that. It's not about that. It's about being special. It's about having a song that makes you special. And right now, we got to be honest, man, nothing is about equal rights, nothing. It's about having power and privilege over other people. You claim to be oppressed, but you're not. You're spoiled. You have more privilege than any other group. And again, man, victims, quote unquote, victims have more privilege nowadays than any other group. I mean, again, people are racing to become victims. They want to be victims. You know, trans people, gay people, black people, brown people, women. Victimhood is the power of poor me.
I don't know Megyn Kelly at all. Okay? I don't find her statement to be racist. I find it to be, in her eyes, patriotic. I find it to be, in her eyes, self-righteous. I find her to be a bit detached from reality being faced by black Americans everywhere. I got that part. But I can't go in the way that I wanted to go in about her when people are out there from my community just throwing out the word racist. You don't know that about her. You don't know that about her. And when you say something like that, you dilute the potency and the importance of the argument. I'm going to say something that's very unpopular, but it factually needs to be addressed. I don't expect white people to have the sensibilities of black people.
You know what, Stephen? You're right. I don't expect white people to have the sensibility of black folks. I expect them to have more. And they do. For the most part, they do. And you know that as well. You know, again, man, 53%, I think it's 53% of all violent crime in the country is caused by black folks, even though black folks are less than 13% of the population. So again, man, we got to be honest about this. We've truly got to be honest about this. And again, man, you can blame whatever you want to blame, but there's full equality under the law, which is all you can ever have. And again, man, these kids that are out there doing this, what are they going to do? They're going to blame Jim Crow? They're going to blame slavery? No. They're doing this because they've been raised in a way to feel entitled. They feel entitled to be angry at whatever they want to be angry at and do whatever they want to do.
I don't expect somebody white to get it about black people the way I expect black people to get it about black people. I may not like it. Megyn Kelly, if you're watching, you're listening, I don't like what you said at all. I think it comes across as highly insensitive. You cannot take into account history. You cannot acknowledge, because you are a historian. I've heard you, I've watched you, I've listened to you, profound respect for you. I've even listened to your interview, your lengthy interview with my former colleague at ESPN, Sage Steele, who a lot of people don't like, but I respect and I like, because I've known Sage Steele for nearly 30 years. It doesn't mean I agree with everything she says. I certainly don't agree with all of her politics, but I've known her for years and I respect her. What I'm saying to you, however, Megyn Kelly, I'm only bringing up her name to let you know I've listened to you on many occasions. We run across each other during my visits at Fox News in the past. And respect is obviously something you should require because your body of work is that significant. I get it. But you ain't black. You haven't been marginalized and ostracized and treated in the manner that black people have been treated. Now, as a woman, you have certainly had your challenges.
Again, you're saying that, well, you don't understand, Megyn, because you ain't black. You know what? As a white man, I definitely can tell you this. You have far more privilege being black than a white person. You can say get away with things that white people can't. Again, you can say whatever you want to say. You can call white people the devil. You can say whatever you want to say about whiteness. But lo and behold, man, if some white person got on TV and said all this bad stuff about blackness, could you imagine? Could you imagine? Of course not, because it wouldn't happen. It would not happen. But again, man, the thing is, you like to put down white people. You stand on their backs. That's what you're doing. You're trying to make them feel guilty for something they never did. Because again, I don't know any white person alive today that was involved with slavery. Not one. And you can say whatever you want to say, man, but you're trying to keep white people guilty. And you want to have black people be victims, not accountable for what they do. And that's what the problem is. And then you say, well, black people don't do as well as white folks. Yeah, because white folks hold themselves accountable for the most part, not always, for their lives. Black folks, they have a scapegoat. Their race. They can say, we're so oppressed. No, you're not oppressed. Again, man, some 18, 19, 20-year-old black kid, I remember calling me a white boy. I'm old enough by far to be the kid's father. But they referred to me as a white boy. Now, could you imagine that the other way around? Could you imagine a white 18, 19, 20-year-old kid calling some 50-year-old black man a boy? Could you imagine? People's heads would explode. And of course you couldn't imagine, because it wouldn't happen.
Yes, my point is as a woman, I am certainly not qualified to speak to your plight and your challenges and the manner of things that you've had to overcome. Although you are a white woman, and everybody knows when you talk about stuff like affirmative action, the biggest beneficiaries of affirmative action have been white women. Not that that qualifies with you. I'm just saying, I'm using that point to highlight no matter what it is that you've been through.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows what black people are going through except for black people. You're not going through anything, man. You're not going through a thing. You have full equality under the law, number one. And number two, you have affirmative action, DEI, you have everything on your side. And you can say whatever you want to say about white folks, but they can't say the same thing about you in reverse. And man, white women are approximately 30% of the population. Number one. Well, you can say whatever you want, but they're much larger in numbers than black people are. Black men and women put together are less than 13% of the population. But again, man, you can say whatever you want to say, but white women are going to benefit more because, again, they're much larger in terms of numbers.
So all I'm saying is, if you ain't black, you may not understand. And if you don't understand, why not be neutral? If you don't understand, why not listen to the Black National Anthem and then listen to the National Anthem? Why not just do that and call it a day? Why do we have to get our antennas up and get agitated and all of this other stuff because we're hearing something that we're not accustomed to hearing and we didn't want to hear? Why do that? Why, Megyn Kelly? Why?
But the fact of the matter is, man, we have two things for Americans, one for white, one for black. Maybe again, next we'll have one for Asians, maybe one for brown people. Yeah. What that does is that divides the country. That divides the country up, again, much worse than what we are. Much worse. And again, the best way to control people, to control a nation, is again, divide people up into groups, cause chaos, and then control. Because again, it's very easy to control people that feel guilty, number one. And it's also very easy to control people that are angry and told they have a right to be angry, and they don't.
You are not black. You haven't been profiled like black people have. You haven't been demeaned and denigrated to the degree that black people have been. You haven't been enslaved like black people were. You haven't had your rights denied to you as black people have. Historically, you know this.
And everything you just said is nothing but bullshit. You've never been a slave. Nobody alive today has ever been a slave. As far as profiling, again, African Americans, black people, whatever you want to call them, commit majority of violent crime in the country. That's a fact. And then you can say whatever you want to say, but that is a fact. Then you sit there and say, well, you know, even as a woman, you've never been denigrated. You've never been put down. You've never been oppressed like black people. Again, you're using all this as some power over other people to claim victimhood status so you can tell other people how bad you have it, how good they have it, to make them feel guilty over something they never did, over something you never suffered.
And to you too, Megyn Kelly, again, who I have profound respect for in terms of your body of work. I don't know you. I just know what you've been as a journalist, and I respect the hell out of you. I respectfully say to you, could you do one or two things? Could you have a more thorough understanding of black history, what provoked the existence of the Black National Anthem, and speak to that reality, or simply stomach it? Because let me tell you something about black people all over this world. The one thing you cannot accuse us of as a people in America or anywhere in this stratosphere, you can't accuse of us of an inability to stomach stuff.
Why does Megyn Kelly or any other white person have to see things, or any other person, period, have to see things the way you want them to see it? They don't. And number two, they don't have to be quiet because you want them to be quiet. Because again, what they're saying offends you. They ought to sit there and stomach it. That's what you said. Because black people all over the world stomach stuff. No, they don't. At least not in this country. I mean, again, black people get triggered over every damn little thing. That's the truth. I mean, again, you're doing it right now. You're upset because, again, they don't see things the way you do. They're not going to. Maybe, just maybe, you're emotionally invested in being a victim. Just maybe. And again, man, I'm not saying all black people, but a lot are invested in being victims. Maybe that's what the issue is. But guys, man, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks. You son of a.